Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Back at it again, back and better than ever. Greeny.
The best show for Chicago sports.
They used to kill me every morning. Back and better than ever. Greeny.
Is that what they did?
That's what Greeny used to always do. It'd be like, oh, well, I guess we're back and better than ever. Shout out to Greeny. Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again, man. Really just one big topic we want to hit on today. Not a ton to get to, but maybe a meaty topic is just
hello.
Because it feels like it's a five-finger slap to the face. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
You know what I'm talking about here? You picking up what I'm putting down?
I got it.
Smelling what I'm stepping in?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you got to see. Sports Illustrated ranked every roster, or every NFC North roster. And there seems to be one team that still ranks at the bottom. And of course, yet again, it's our beloved Chicago Bears. We got to break it down. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 5/18/2025. It's 7:18 in the morning. And for those of you in the chat live right now, shut your mouth. We know what time it is. Let's go!
Come on, man. We wouldn't be the blackest show on the YouTube if we weren't late.
We got to stop it.
Yeah, we do. We
gotta
really
stop
do.
it. It's not a good thing.
It's not a flex.
It's not a flex. Dang it. I can't even lie. It was me this morning. The bed felt good.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna cap.
Yeah, I was at the gym. You can't blame me this
No,
time.
it's not Mr. Meaty, ladies and gentlemen. That was Pat the designer on this one. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push a button.
You heard what she
Y'all
said.
heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I like Kitty Behold. It's not even that. This is the worst part. Like, legitimately, I went to bed at a good time.
Oh, yeah. And just stuck to it.
It's
Stuck
still
to that
just
bed.
the middle of the night, bro. Like the middle of the night random wake ups where you go back to sleep.
Yep.
That second sleep is deadly, bro.
Yes, it is.
I had
Yeah.
like a freaking what was it, like 4:45.
Ooh.
My daughter woke me up, which my alarm goes off at 5:30. So it's like, all right, I'm back in it. All right, I'm just gonna light rest, maybe do a
Right.
little research.
Yep.
6:58.
Next thing you know,
Oh, God!
3 hours later.
Yo!
Get up.
It's a good thing we're not regulated right now. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Show love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on.
There you
Push
go,
the
Jason.
button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push a button.
Oh, shit.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. She said, why Pat looked like he just got home an hour ago, glasses in full effect. Right? I didn't, I swear. I was well rested. Let's talk a little bit of football, Jordan JC. JC trying to hit a
They got into a
40
fight
at the
yesterday.
gym.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Did you just realize you did it twice? That's
Did
what I'm laughing for. Legendary said two Sue Youngs in the morning.
Hey, man, I'm tired, bro.
I was like, oh, we running it back. Hey, I love two Sue Youngs. You can't help it, brother. Two Sue Youngs in the morning. That's what we need. Two Sue Youngs. Let's go, baby.
Sports Illustrated ranked each of the NFC North teams And how they have it ranked, I think, which is interesting, is it starts off with to no one's surprise. It wasn't easy ranking the NFC North rosters. They start off with number one, the Detroit Lions, talking about, of course, how Detroit has the fewest holes in the NFC North right now. You've still got a ton of pieces with Sam Laportas, of course, David Montgomery, Jamar Gibbs, Amon Ross Brown leading that group. It is still a ridiculously good team.
It's an ugly roster in a good way.
It's a good team. They do cite some of the coaching changes that have been made and some of the departures that they had this offseason. Of course, Kevin Zeitler, Graham Glasgow, going to be two people competing for the jobs this season. And, you know, how quickly the health of Aiden Hutchinson could or could not impact this team. But they still have the Detroit Lions ranked as the number one team in the NFC North. Now, this one, I think, was actually very intriguing with a lot of the offseason moves made here. They've got the Minnesota Vikings number 2 in the NFC North, which, and by the way, starts it off with, it's pretty tempting to rank the Vikings over the Lions, but star power on paper
really
didn't outweigh all the uncertainty surrounding the many new pieces acquired in the offseason. So the Vikings' new pieces matter. The Vikings' new additions help that team. Anyway, the offensive line should be better with veteran newcomer Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, but both battled injuries during their final season with the Indianapolis Colts. Also, stud left tackle Christian Darrisaw is working his way back from a knee injury, and it was not given that first round rookie Donovan Jackson will have a seamless transition to the NFL. So, all the turnover, all the change, but that's the second best roster in the NFC North. Now, same coaching staff, which could play into the conversation, right? Having Kevin O'Connell there, we already know what kind of head coach he is, how dominant he can be. And how he can just call a system. So that could play into it. I've said many a times, I do think the Vikings, I'm not mad at the ranking. I'm mad at the reasoning behind the ranking. You could have come in here with a quick ranking and literally just gone, JJ McCarthy's down the field, or I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson's down the field. JJ McCarthy needs to throw the football to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Justin Jefferson's down the field. JJ McCarthy, he down there somewhere. Throw the football up. I think that with Kevin O'Connell is going to be a good transition. Now, number 3 on the list. Oh, where's Jimmy Hoffa?
Yeah,
the Green Bay Packers. Said the Packers essentially told wide receiver Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, and Dontavion Wicks that last year it wasn't good enough by drafting Matthew Golden and Savion Williams with the first 2 of its 3 picks last month. Packers have one of the best offenses in 2025. If Jordan Love plays better against the best teams in the league, Love regressed a bit last year compared to his 23 breakout season, but that could be attributed to a disappointing wide receiver core. And then he gets to the beloved Chicago Bears 4th. And what's said here is the Bears would rank 4th in any other division besides the NFC North. Sure, it remains to be seen how quickly the new look offensive line gels this season, but there's no denying that this team has gained plenty of talent the past 2 years. After a disastrous rookie season, Caleb Williams could be well protected with the arrival of Drew Dahlman and guards Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, but it's unknown how new coach Ben Johnson views tackle Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, given that Chicago used its second-round pick on Ozzie Trapilo. I think it's no. I think it's pretty well known. But with all that being said, giving some context on the reasoning why he felt the Chicago Bears. I gotta take these glasses off. My husband here think I'm hungover. Why he felt?
Oh, you got into a fight or something?
The Chicago Bears should be ranked 4th. Jordan JC, do you feel like the Bears still have the 4th best roster in the NFL?
No, but I understand.
NFC North, I should say.
NFC North. Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, and not trying to be meaty, not being biased or anything as a Bears fan, but I mean, I think I understand the reason why this article puts them as 4th because of some of the wording, and you can agree with it to an extent. It's because we haven't seen the offense or the defense gel yet, right? Everything that we have that has been brought into the season, they haven't been playing together yet. There hasn't been a season with all of them connecting together yet. So this superstar team that we so-called have, it's just getting going. You know, it's just getting off the ground running in a sense. And so we have to see it first. And I think that's where the holdup is with expecting maybe where the Bears should be versus where they are now. Obviously, you know, for me, I would put them right behind the Lions as far as the talent on the roster from top to bottom. Maybe some of the other teams have more talent at the very top, but evened out throughout the roster. I think the Bears are very well balanced when it comes to skill set, when it comes to the pieces that they brought in over the offseason, in free agency, in the draft. But I think it's just a matter of seeing it kind of mesh together first. You have a first-year coach in Ben Johnson who is an extremely genius offensive coordinator, but now he's getting into the role of head coach, and nobody has seen what he's like as a head coach. And so that's new. You know, you got these linemen who have had a track record of being all pros, but they never played together. So, you know, that's new. The Drew Dalmans, Jonah Jacksons, and Joe Tooney. And then you got your Ozzie Trapillos, you got your Luther Burdens, you got your Colston Lovelands, your Kyle Manung guys. You got all these other new rookies.
Big Manung guy.
I'm a big Manung guy as always. But you got all these other pieces that have not taken the field yet. And so that's what I hope the hope is that the reason why we're in last place is because it hasn't been seen yet. That's the only reason why I think that we're in the last place with this prediction in this article.
I think here's my problem, right? Everybody else got better because of the things they did this offseason, except the Bears, who clearly got better because of the things they did this offseason. Like, that's essentially what the article said.
Yeah.
Now, he did say outside of the NFC North, the Bears wouldn't rank last in any other division, right?
True.
But which is fine. But I think for me, right, like, this is just a roster evaluation. Nobody said that, you know, this was where we think the teams are going to rank. Nobody said that this is just where we think the teams are going to end up finishing the season out. This is a roster evaluation. So let's evaluate rosters. Do the Bears have now this one probably? Do the Bears have the fourth best quarterback in the NFC North?
No,
probably in third, right? Probably third.
I mean, if you're talking about proven track record, you'd go Jared Goff, Jordan Love, then I would say Caleb over JJ. Obviously.
And apparently there's a baby.
Oh, we got another running back coming right behind. Hey, baby.
Good morning, Love.
This show is all over the place.
It's all over the place.
We got babies, we got hungover Pat, we got everybody.
This show's all over the place. Do we? I would say that the Chicago Bears right now have the third best quarterback. Jordan Love been to the playoffs. Jared Goff, obviously the best in the division right now. JJ McCarthy, unknown wild card. Do the Bears have the fourth best wide receiving core in the NFC North?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you got it stacked from top to bottom, in my opinion.
You could argue. I mean, if you want to, Vikings 1.
I'd go Vikings 1, Detroit 2nd.
2.
I would say we're even. We're balanced out with
Detroit.
Yeah. As far as no. I'm sorry. With Green Bay. That's what I meant. We're third. Green Bay has the fourth worst wide receiver roster, especially with all the guys they keep bringing in to try and be the number one receiver. The Christian, Watsons, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, like they just got a slew of names, and now they brought in Matthew Golden. Yeah, and I forgot the other wide receiver they picked in the second round, but like it's a matter of they're more proven. I feel like as far as on the Bears roster, DJ Moore is clearly better than a lot of the players or receivers that the Packers have. Rome Odunze, I feel, has more talent than any of those guys as well. Then you brought in Luther. You got what's your boy's name from Washington that we picked up?
Luther Burden, Olamide Zaccheaus.
Zaccheaus, thank you, Olamide Zaccheaus. So third best.
And even that, right? I would argue you can make an argument for second. Just as the full core gets together and you've got young receivers in there, Detroit and Jamison Williams don't seem ideal. Detroit feels like more of a running back room than it does a receiving core. I would argue that you could say the Bears have the second best wide receiving core, just evaluating the roster. Especially with the young pieces that they added. Now, with the second best wide receiving core and the third best quarterback, right? That's That's going to get you to where you got last season. And last season, you were the 4th best quarterback in the NFC North. So you gotta get the quarterback play up. Offensive line, you can do the same thing. I think the Bears' offensive line improved tremendously. I think that when you look at the tight end room, there's no question that the Bears have probably the 2nd best tight end room in this division. I'm putting it on Colston Loveland already. Like top guy. Like
he's got to be good.
He's a
got to
dog.
be really good.
He's a dog. I'm telling y'all right now, this man's a dog. I've been watching some Colston Loveland tape.
Yep.
That's why I was sleepy a little bit today. No, I'm just joking.
No.
No, to me, like when you start to evaluate this roster, there's too many. DB room is one.
We know that.
DB room, best DB room in the NFC North.
We got DBs on the bench just that are better than some of the ones that are starting for other teams.
Best DB room in the NFC North, bar none.
Yes.
Linebacker room, question mark. Defensive line,
up and coming. I would say maybe third.
Third best in the North. Second best in the North. Maybe second best in the North.
All things healthy, Detroit probably still has that crown, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the Packers got some dogs.
Packers pick a lot of good defensive players.
That might be 4th best. But either way, I just feel like when you're just evaluating the roster, nobody told you to rank them in the division rankings and all of that.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to say that the Bears are the worst team in the NFC North. Now, at the end of the day, does any of this matter? No. Because it all matters when you go out on the field and you actually make plays. And I do think the Ben Johnson caveat in that plays out. But again, I think he's looking at this from just a Ben Johnson point of view. And I don't think that is a Ben Johnson, a fair valuation of Ben Johnson. Because you're not looking at it from the Dennis Allen point of view. You're not looking at it from the Antoine Randall point of view, the Al Harris point of view, the Eric Bieniemy point of view. You're not looking at it as this coaching staff is ridiculously well put together. You're just looking at Ben Johnson's a new head coach. We knew that. And so to me, when I look at all of these pieces together, it's also tough for me to say, like, you know, all these other teams had holes, but they got the same coach. Like, I think that I do think this is going to be a bloodbath of a division this year.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the better ones still. I mean, we have a talent. That's the one thing I am proud of, if you want to talk about just being outside of an immediate Bears fan, is that, you know, if the Bears are to win this division, you're going to go through some really, really tough competition. Like, it's not a cakewalk like some of these other divisions have, where some rosters are still trying to be rebuilt. You got new rookies up and coming. You got question marks at quarterback. There's a lot of things that NFC North, as far as holes are concerned, on all of these teams, they've been patched up for a while now. And so that's what I love about this division, is that when you say you're the NFC North champ, that actually means something. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty exciting to see this year.
What do we got? Every morning, Bears Junkie and Don Bird in the chat going at it. Don Bird's like, Bears have won 15 games total in 3 years. Stop selling people on potential. Do something. Bears Junkie said, all caps makes me sound more important.
Oh, yeah. When somebody yells something all the time, they always make it seem like they drove the point home.
Well, now, listen, Don Bird is 100% right. And Bears fans gonna love that. Don Bird's 100% right, though. We got to prove it.
Oh, I thought you meant about James Williams. I was like, are you kidding me, Don Bird?
No.
DJ Moore?
Really? No, that sounds crazy.
All right.
But he is right when he talks about you got to prove it. Right? Yeah. That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, you got to prove that this roster is something. We've had good rosters. We've had good talent. And you know what changed? I talked about this with J-Mac on the Bears Pod yesterday. What changes to me is when you have good talent. We had good talent last year.
Yeah.
When you have good talent paired with dum-dums,
it equals a dum-dums.
The dum-dums usually prevail.
They outweigh.
Especially when the dum-dums are in the important position.
Yeah.
Like, think about how bad that Bears team was. And that Bears team is exactly who it was. Think about that.
Yeah.
How bad that Bears team was. With a couple of these and a couple just not bad moments from the brain.
Yeah. Mental lapses. Yep.
You're an 8-9 win football team. And we were bad. Make no mistake about it. The Chicago Bears last year were a bad football team. Bad offensive line, bad defensive line. Okay wide receiving core, kind of banged up with Keenan Allen in and out all year. Zero run game. They still should have won 9 games if just not for a dude who doesn't have this.
Who had historic losses.
Historic level. It took a head coach who's literally the worst losing coach in NFL history to drag you that far down. And that's why I think a lot of people come into this season thinking the Bears have so many more holes than they have. I keep seeing there's no edge opposite Montez Sweat. What are we gonna do? It's not the kind of defense that Dennis Allen's trying to build. Dennis Allen wants pressure from the interior. He's not as worried about the pressure from the edges. He's worried about pressure from the interior.
Yep, closest to
He
the quarterback.
pressure from the interior. Now, he addressed it in a way that I think is going to be, as helpful. I don't know. We'll see. That's where the season actually plays out. But the focus that you have that you think the Bears should fix is not their focus. By the way, they're also coming in going, how'd this team lose? They gave up 21 points a game last year.
Yeah, they had a streak going for a minute. Yep.
22?
Nope.
They did. Nope. What were we, 10 weeks into the season before we gave up our first 20-plus point game?
Yeah, but the offense still
it was like weirdly impressive. What was Chicago Bears 2024 schedule?
I want to say 6 games in.
Might have been 6 weeks in. Might have been 6 weeks in.
Maybe.
Oh, and I hate the new AI thing too, where it's like, oh, well, you want to see some AI? You want to use some AI? So
Google,
more than 21 points in week 8 of the season when they got clapped by Arizona right after the Washington game.
So that was after the bye week. Yeah.
The next 2 games gave up 19 and 20, gave up 30, gave up 23, and then it was over. 38, 30, 34. Everybody was fired by this point.
Yeah, the defense kind of fizzled out at the end. They gave up
by this point.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yep. Yeah.
But for most of the season, you weren't giving up 21 plus points. And you were winning games. And then the Washington game happened and chaos ensued. Mm-hmm. It really is crazy to see how that game just snapped the Bears back.
Just completely
I've never seen more of a true example of bad culture.
Yeah. Just going from, we got this, what they were 4-2, second away from being 5-2, going into the bye week, and then going into the division games. Yeah, that was epic. But my thing too is again, we don't know, which is the reason why they came out with this in their prediction of where the Bears rank. We don't know exactly how it's going to look, but if this kind of gets put all together the way it should, the Bears are going to be, in my opinion, at the top of the list, by the end of 2025. We talked about, the potential of a Caleb Williams, which is what a lot of this is going to be hanging on. We talked about, as you mentioned, Dennis Allen's defense and what he wants to look like, the interior being the quickest route to the quarterback. All of these different things that we have addressed over the offseason is going to allow this team to really make up some ground, on these other rosters that have really been consistent. They've been together for a while, and I think that again is the biggest difference is you just want to make sure that, okay, you don't jump the gun and say, well, look at how talented this roster was last year. Look at the additions they made this year. And now, they should be just obliterating teams. No, let's give it some time. Let's see how it looks. Let's see what the scheme is. Let's see how the defense kind of comes together. And then we can get a little bit more meaty if that's the case. But I still do think that the Chicago Bears are going to be way better than the 4th best roster when it's all. So
where do you think the Bears rank right now, roster wise?
I mean, if I'm being biased, I would say 2nd. But honestly behind Detroit.
Hey, that was a Stephen A. answer right there, bro. When he be talking about the Knicks, if I'm being biased. I never heard somebody say that.
The New York Knicks.
It's literally always if I'm not being biased. Okay, so not being biased.
If I'm not being biased,
You thought this show was unbiased? No, we're Bears fans.
biased, man.
It's gonna
I'll
be
go
fun.
third. I'll go third. I'll go third if I'm not being biased. Realistically, I think Minnesota, they really are going to have to see how JJ McCarthy kind of pans out. I think a lot of their success is going to hang on how he recovers, because he looked really good in the preseason. He kind of got on a little bit of a heater in the game that he played, and then, obviously got hurt. And so I think his comeback will kind of predict where they stand. But outside of that, I got Detroit as the only really rival to us being the NFC North champs. I do not think Green Bay is going to be consistent. When the time is right, I think Green Bay is going to be the worst of the four teams in the NFC North. But if Detroit is healthy for the entire season, they have the roster to maybe repeat as NFC North champs.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I still got the Lions one. I understand the coaching changeover and stuff like that, and I do think that will play a part. But roster wise, I still have the Lions one. I think the Lions are. Listen, most of the people are still there. Dan Campbell is still there. Yes, they lost their offensive and defensive coordinators. Dan Campbell found those guys.
The culture's already set, though.
You know what I mean? The culture is set there. The expectation is set there. As long as you don't go find a complete moron to call plays for you, you should be all right. And I think what's funny about it is, right, the question is, can Dan Campbell do it again? Can Dan Campbell do it again? We don't ask that question about John Harbaugh. We don't ask that question about Mike Tomlin. We don't ask that question about now they have the experience of replacing guys that are in place, but Mike Tomlin often replaces guys poorly. But that culture is set. His expectation is set. His standard is set. That don't just apply to the players. That applies to the coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give Detroit number one. I'm gonna give them their flowers. They're still the best team in the NFC North. I'm gonna be real with you though. After that, if we talking about additions, and Minnesota made some great additions.
Sure.
But I don't think anybody had more impactful additions this offseason than the Chicago Bears. We literally left last season going, well, if anybody decided to protect Caleb Williams, he's a better quarterback. Hey, if you get any pressure on the quarterback, these DBs are better DBs. They already were pretty good. So when you talk about making an impact on the roster, I've got Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright, and I'm in Ozzie Trapilo. I'm calling it now. Who dog is that?
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
I heard a new bark in my backyard. I'm like, that's not my dog.
Oh boy, got some rivalries going on.
When you've got clearly an upgrade on the offensive line, even if you leave Braxton Jones in there, clearly an upgrade on the offensive line. Clearly an upgrade on the defensive line, just not where Bears fans want it to be. But that defensive interior is upgraded.
Man.
Shamar Turner fits a one-gap system more than he fits a two-gap system, and his brain never adjusted to a two-gap system, so he should be able to hit the ground running as long as he's healthy.
Man, that's going to look fun.
Your interior is going to be a problem this year. The DBs already were a problem. Will Tremaine Edmonds tackle the right direction? That is a question. But I got Detroit 1. I don't think there's been more impactful offseason moves than the Bears 2, roster-wise, based on the players you already have. Give me Minnesota 3. Give me Green Bay 4. I'm going to be honest with you. And Jimmy Havoc can be as mad as he want to be. Green Bay didn't do nothing that scared me this offseason. In fact, every move they made, and now, look, Green Bay, I will give them the credit for this. They find a way, right? And you'd be like, that move made no sense. Why?
Well, it's based off the coach, you know.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the move made it is based off the coach, but just like the Packers have always found that move where everybody else is literally just like, well, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And then it works out for them. So, like the guard signing that they had this offseason, I'm like, completely overpaid for that.
You know what's funny to me? What's funny to me is that they got they got about 6 or 7 receivers now. You know how many times Aaron Rodgers cried for that when he was here, and now they're just like overhauling the receiver room now that he's gone.
In reality, though, they gave
funny.
Aaron Rodgers these receivers. These are all second,
He
third, and
did
fourth
have
round
Christian
picks.
Watson. Yeah, you're right.
They gave Aaron Rodgers. He did also have literally these receivers, but they gave Aaron Rodgers the second round, third round wide receivers. But they didn't give Aaron Rodgers was a first round wide receiver.
Yeah, he wanted one right off the bat.
You gave Aaron Rodgers Matthew Golden, who's good, but probably wasn't the best wide receiver in the draft at that time. Because Ted McMillan, of course, was off. Oh, Chris is all in. He said, I'm calling it 12-5. No, Chris.
See, that's a meaty take right there. 12-5, baby.
No, Chris.
10 plus. 10 plus. 10 plus. Yes, sir. Stop being scared, man.
No. It's not scared. Just tempering those expectations. Because you know what? When they get 9 wins, you'll all be heartbroken. I'll just be like, I expected 9 wins. If they get 10 wins, if they get 10 wins, I'm not heartbroken.
Yeah.
They get 11 wins, I'm not heartbroken. Oh, 17 wins. Oh,
17. Oh, let's do it.
It was a joke. No, but I think that, when you look at, a lot of the moves that were made this offseason, I don't feel like there was any more impactful than what the Bears did. Now, I also think the rest of I'll say this too. I don't think it's so much that we take a leap forward. I think other teams are going to take a leap back. Have you looked at the numbers of the Bears versus the AFC South? Or I'm sorry, the NFC North versus the AFC South?
No.
Yeah, it's lopsided. Yeah, we stacked up on like the whole division, Bears included.
Yeah.
We destroyed the South. The South will not rise again.
You old saying that the South will fall.
Like we destroyed the AFC South. So when now you have the AFC North coming in, you're not going to beat them nearly that bad. So what I'm saying is a lot of the numbers from last season, not to say the NFC North isn't still one of the best divisions of football. I do think that it is. But there's a lot of numbers that are very inflated because of playing the AFC South. This year, I think the rest of the division comes back a little bit while the Bears move up and get better. And I think we all end up kind of in a similar range. But like I said, this is just evaluating the roster. This is not wins and losses.
Yeah.
Wins and losses are going to come when wins and losses come.
Hey, let's hope our roster out rosters everybody else.
I'd like
by the end of
it. A good out rostering on this team. Hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Is that Sarah? I believe Sarah's our resident Vikings fan in the building.
What's going on, Sarah? All right.
Sarah. I believe she's our resident Vikings fan. We got everybody in here. We got Jimmy Hoffa, we got Don Burr, we got Sarah in the building. You're all going down.
That's the only reason why we wanted to bring it up.
Yep. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We'll be back and better tomorrow. I can guarantee we will be live at 7 because we're recording it tonight.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. For Mr. Medium Self, Jordan JC, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Bed down. One love. Please. I'm not making Sue Young and out.
I was just about to say, just go for it a third time. You know?
Push a button. Push that button.
Bro, that cracked me up. I was like, does he know he did it twice?
Nope. Not a clue. That's cool. I'm off my game and we still drop 40.
Hey, call me SGA.
No, he wasn't off his game.
Yeah, no, that man was like 11 for 13, 11 at free throws. Good God.
Man, he's ridiculous.
Them dudes.
We about to start talking NBA playoffs on this mug.
Jesus.
I stopped watching in the third quarter. I don't even know what the final score was.
Well, they won like 42 points.